Hey everyone, hope you all are doing good. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can monitor websites using Grafana, InfluxDb and Telegraf as a solution. Now, first thing which we need to do is we need to go to Telegraf configuration file and we need to make some changes there. There are two ways you can make changes in configuration file. So first of all, you need to move on to the directory where all the Telegraf configuration file stays. If it is a default installation, then all the configuration file stays here, okay, under /etc/telegraf directory. Now you can see there is a configuration file which is called telegraf.conf. So this is the default configuration file. If you want, you can make configuration changes directly in this file. Otherwise, there is a better way. You can move into telegraf.d directory. So I can go to telegraf.d directory and then I can create a configuration file at this place. Okay, so these are the two approaches which we can follow. First, I'm going to show you what is there in default telegraf.conf file. So I'm going to open telegraf.conf file in VI editor, and the parameter changes or the configuration changes which we need to make here is called inputs.http response. So I'm gonna search for inputs.http, and this inputs.http is the one which is for other purpose. We don't want this one. We are just gonna move to inputs.http response. Okay, now if you see here, this is by default is commented, and what you have to do here is, if you want, you can uncomment this here, and also in the URLs you need to specify the list of URLs. Now you see, this can be challenging that you don't really want to make configuration changes directly in this file, which is the main file where all the configuration stays. So that's why I'm not gonna do this way. I'm just gonna exit from here, and we are going to move into telegraf.d. And now here we are going to create our own configuration file. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to use VI editor for that, and let's call this this new file, I'm gonna call it website mon.conf. Okay, just make sure the website, whatever name you give, it ends with .conf. That is important. The name here doesn't matter, but it must end with .conf. And then we are going to hit enter, and now this is the input configuration which we need to provide. Notice here, first line is just inputs.http_response, and URL we have provided multiple URLs. So if you just have single URL, that is okay. If you want to monitor multiple URL, this should be, you need to provide all the URLs after a comma. And let's say I want to add one more URL, so I'm gonna say google.com, and this name of the website should be in double quotes, and after each website you need to give a comma. Okay, so that's all you need to do. I'm just gonna add it here in this file, and then we can save it. There is one more parameter which you can fill here, so I'm just gonna go back to this configuration file again. There is one more parameter which is called timeout. So you can set timeout to, let's say, 30 seconds. So what this timeout is going to do is, it is going to try to access this website for 30 seconds, and if there is no response in 30 seconds, it is just going to disconnect. Okay, just make sure you give appropriate timeout. So if your website loads slow, it loads in 20 seconds. So in that case, you must give 20 to 25 seconds in timeouts. By default, timeout is set to 5 seconds. So in this case, I'm just going to get rid of timeout because 5 seconds is enough. All these websites load under 5 seconds. So I'm just going to save it and just gonna show you what we have in the configuration file. Okay, so this is what we added, and we can see this is there. Now, other thing which we need to do here is we need to restart Telegraf. So whenever you want to make any changes, any configuration changes, and you want it to be reflected, make sure you have you restart Telegraf. Now before I go on and restart Telegraf, I also want to show you what is there in InfluxDb. So for that, I'm going to log into InfluxDb by writing influx. If you write influx, it is going to take you to influx command line interface, and here you can write show databases, and it is going to show all the available databases. In this case, we know our database name is Telegraf, and now we want to see list of measurements. So now if I do show measurements, you see there is no measurement which is starting with HTTP. Okay, and now once we restart Telegraf, in that case you will see there is a new measurement being created which is starting with HTTP response. So I'm going to restart Telegraf now, and for that we have to write ctl restart Telegraf. And to check the status, you can write systemctl status Telegraf. Hit enter. Now you can see Telegraf is running properly, which means everything is okay. And now we are going to, let's clear the screen first, and let's write influx use Telegraf show measurements. It will be measurements, not measurement. And now we can see, once we do show measurements, we can see HTTP response. Okay, so it means we now have data for HTTP response, so we should be able to start creating new panels or new dashboard. So now I'm going to go on to add new panel, and in the add new panel, in the measurement, we need to select HTTP response, and in the feed value we need to change it to response code. Okay, so if you don't know about what is a response code, let me just quickly show it to you. So if you just Google HTTP response code and you open up the first URL, now here it is showing list of all the response code which a website can send you when you are trying to open the website. Okay, so any response code between 100 to 199 means this is informational responses. Anything between 200 to 299 means it is successful response. And for errors, these are the response code which is reserved for errors. And I know you might have already, or you might already be aware of 404 response code and so on. Okay, so a response code of 200 means your website is okay. Okay, and it is responding okay. So here also you can see successful response. 200 means okay, everything is okay. And so basically if you get response of 200 means our website is up and it is running properly. So in this case, we need to change field value to response HTTP response code. And one more thing which we need to do here is, notice here it is showing by default mean, which is average. We don't want average, we want whatever is the last value. And so last means latest. It's just going to show us whatever is the latest value. Also one thing, we don't want to show it over the timeline. I may want to show it on stat. Okay, so this is the response code which we have. Now notice here is there is no breakdown based on the URL. If you remember, we monitored 3 URLs, so we should have seen 3 URLs. The reason why it is not showing is that we are not grouping it by servers. Okay, so in the group by, we need to select servers. And now if you see, it is showing response for all the servers. It is not showing for one URL. I'm just gonna see that later, but anyway, also in the alias by, I'm gonna write tag underscore server because we just want to see the URL. And here in the panel title, let's change it to website status, and let's click on apply first. But before that, you may also want to change the color. So for that, you can go to field, and in the field, if you notice, base color is showing as green, and anything above this threshold is showing as red. So you want to change it, and for that what you can do is you can change it to, you can add a threshold and you can call anything between 0 to 199. So up to 0 to 199 you may want to give a different color. So in this case, let's say we want to keep it yellow, and if it is 200, we know that 200 means everything is okay. So in this case we want to change it to green, and you can add other thresholds. So for example, for 201 you may want to change it to, sorry, by mistake I typed 209 there, so I'm just going to change it to 200, and whatever response code available here in the range you can use these. So for example, if it is between 300 to 399 I can call it redirects. So you can do that here. Okay, so I'm gonna say up to 399 it is redirects, and we may want to change the color to any color. Okay, you got the point. So I'm just gonna click here on apply. Now notice one thing, that as a, you know, if this dashboard is being monitored by a technical guy, then they may be able to understand everything based on this, you know, number in this response code number. But let's say if you want to show up or down, okay, you don't want to show these value, you want to show whether website is up or whether it is down. So if you get response code of 200, you want to say it is up. If you get any other response code, you want to say that website is down. So in that case we need to do some value mapping. So for that, just scroll down until we see, oh, I'm sorry, we need to actually go to field, and in the field we need to go to value mapping, and here in the add value mapping we need to provide what is the value we want to map to. Please notice here you can only map numeric value to a text value. So for example, here in this case I know it's 200 means okay or up, so I'm going to map it to up. Okay, so rather than showing 200 it is going to show up, and similarly you need to map all other values as well. So for example, for 200 I have mapped I have mapped up, and for all other codes you need to do the value mapping as well. So for example, I'm just gonna do for 404, which is website not found, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is not found. So I'm gonna create add value mapping. I'm gonna say 404 not found. Okay, so you can do value mapping for others as well. Now I'm going to click on OK, and we can see that we have result for both of these URL, whether it is up or down. And I'm gonna create one more panel here and quickly go to add new panel, and in the measurement gonna select HTTP response, and in the feed value, let's say I'm going to select response time. So I want to know what was the response time for accessing this website, because we also want to, we don't only want to monitor whether a website is up or not, we also want to monitor whether it is responding properly or it is responding within certain threshold. Okay, so in this case this one is going to be useful, and also we need to get rid of mean. We need to, let's change it to last, and on the right side I'm going to change it in the display. We need to change here from null value, I want to change it to connected, and also notice we do need to group it by server so we can see for both the servers. Okay, so this is what is the response time, which is within 1 second, so that is fine, and you can do whatever beautification you want, so that's up to you. So now you can see we are able to monitor our website, and we are also able to see what is the response time of the websites. So we know both of our websites are up, and also the website is responding within 1 second. So that's it in this session. Stay tuned for next session. If you want me to create video on any certain topic on Grafana, then do let me know in the comment section. If I already know about the topic, I'm going to create a video straight away, else I'll do some research and post that I'll be creating the video. So thank you so much for watching.